Hi everyone, even more students back in the classroom today, among them Spokane Public Schools, providing support for students feeling the impact, of course, of the recent fires.
And I'm tracking the forecast where it is another sunny and hot day, but winds picking up throughout parts of the region. The full details of that ahead.
All right, and in memory of one of the greats, Dolly Parton, we share how people are honoring her legacy and remembering her life a little bit later in the show. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. We appreciate you being with us on this Wednesday. We do have this. Tim Curry, a beloved character actor, has died at the age of 80. His longtime friend and manager said he died today at his home in Los Angeles. However, at this time, no cause was disclosed. Curry's career spanned stage and screen, earning him 3 Tony nominations and an Emmy nod. He is known for his humor, or was known for his humor and versatility. Curry left a lasting impact on theater and film. His 2025 memoir, Vagabond, shares insights into his life and career beginning in England. All right, a pause on the day's news, and we're going to talk about the day's weather right now with Jenny Powers standing by. Jenny, things were pretty warm very early in the morning.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were feeling it, and we're still feeling the heat today as we've got one more day of temperatures that are going to be on the hotter side and well above our average. Outside right now in Spokane, we're sitting at 86 degrees. Few clouds out there here and there, but it does feel like a typical kind of summery August day. Temperatures across the region also still continuing to climb here. 87 right now over in Coeur d'Alene. We're at 84 degrees in Moses Lake. Mid 80s down on the Palouse with some low 80s north to Sandpoint, Idaho. Our air quality has been the other thing we're watching out for. It's moderate across much of eastern Washington and North Idaho, and we are seeing a few unhealthy for sensitive group pockets south to parts of the Palouse and into central Idaho. But unfortunately, some of the worst air quality is still out toward central Washington, unhealthy in Wenatchee, and very unhealthy out toward Cle Elum. Current wind speeds that we are seeing outside right now are coming from the southwest, fairly light, but that is set to change here later on this afternoon as winds are going to be picking up. And so now we do have some red flag warnings for the day today out in parts of central Idaho, specifically south to the LC Valley and down into Grangeville. So we still need to be fire weather aware here. Temperatures this afternoon going to continue to climb. We're talking widespread 90s. Again, how long this is set to last and the bigger changes on the way in just a few minutes. Laura.
Jenny, thanks so much. Less than 1 month after the Spokane fires devastated the area, Meade has something to celebrate today. It is the first day of school, and that means getting back to routines and being together with friends again. You may remember just a few weeks ago, Mount Spokane High School actually served as base camp for hundreds of firefighters. It was also back to school for Spokane Public School kids today, and for some families, this year is certainly starting a little bit different. Several SPS students are returning to class while still dealing with the impacts of the Old Trails fire, which destroyed or damaged their homes. KREM 2's Regan Gallo sharing how students and staff are going back to school.
Well, back to school season is always fun for students. They get back into their normal routines, they get to see friends they haven't seen for a while, and get to go into those activities they love. But this year for Spokane Public Schools, it's a lot more complex with the impacts of the Old Trails fire, and many families still facing those impacts or being displaced still altogether. We're right here just outside of Indian Trail Elementary, one of the most devastated areas of these fires. We see one home with a sign in the window, Indian Trail Strong, We Stand United. Now, the homeowner here was telling us that as soon as they were able to come back home after those evacuation zones were let down, that they wanted to make sure they showed their support. And this is just one token of appreciation that we've seen across the community leading up to back to school. Now, Spokane Public School officials tell us that around 169 students lost their homes in the Old Trails fire. So as kiddos are getting back to class, there's still a lot behind the scenes parents are managing. And about 8 homes that were within the district that were destroyed, those households have left the district, highlighting the impacts of needing to go where there's support or more temporary housing available. And that doesn't always mean you can stay within those district boundaries. Now, we talked to staff from the Indian Trail Elementary, and they told us today they're going to have extra support among staff today so their students can be best supported and have the best day possible while ultimately reestablishing normalcy for those kiddos.
Lots of joy in getting to see friends that they maybe haven't seen since the fires, and so that's what I'm hoping for all the kids and the teachers, that it's just good to be together and happiness.
Just so grateful for this whole community. It hasn't just been the admin, it hasn't just been PTO, it hasn't just been a select few people, it's been literally everyone coming together. We were a tight community before the fire, and I think we're even tighter now. So just really glad to be here and be a part of it.
I've seen both ends. I've seen kids want to talk about it, but then they also want to be kids and they go play, and it's almost like they have forgotten for just a glimpse in a moment, and they go and they play on the playground, they hug each other, and then the parents are kind of still talking about what needs to be done. But I think there's both, so we need to give space for both to talk about it and to be normal.
So as kids kick off school today, one other visual impact too, as they're busing in or they're driving or walking in among the Indian Trail neighborhood, many of those homes have been left destroyed. So students are seeing that as they're walking in, excited to get into class. So again, to highlight the heaviness and the complex emotions around this back to school, specifically for Spokane Public Schools. For now, reporting here at Indian Trail Elementary, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All right, good to get an update on all those kids headed back to school today. As we've talked about, Spokane Public Schools beginning today, and one thing on their morning bus ride looks a little bit different this year. The district has some new buses and they have seatbelts, and Washington state law requires students to use them when they are indeed available. Some other rules for the bus, including lining up single file at the bus stop, sitting in assigned seats, and not having any food or drink on the bus. You can find a full list of student expectations on the SPS website. And it is worth reviewing some of those expectations with your student early on, because they could lose bus privileges if they don't follow those rules. So again, just something to go over with the kids. Here is a look at SPS's 5-step consequence plan for the first citation. Students will get a warning, parent contact from the school, and a letter sent home with a copy of citation and rules. Every infraction after that will result in a loss of riding privileges, starting with a 1-day suspension. So then after 5 citations, they could lose their bus privileges for the entire school year. So I think most kids are just excited to get back to school and be on the bus. So there's a list of expectations that you can visit with them, again, on the SPS website. Some new body cam footage showing the efforts to get people out on the first day of the Spokane area fires. After the break, a look at those rescue efforts ahead.